Well, hello everybody out there and welcome to another random video. And in today's video I want to show and tell you about why the Roland SP-404 is almost completely useless as a professional instrument or as a professional tool. You see, it all has something to do with the analog line in and the peak of the SP-404. You see, right now I have my cassette deck hooked up to the SP-404. So now let's go to external source. And as you can see, the peak LED lights up, which means, okay, there is a whole bunch of clipping happening. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, clipping basically means that in the digital domain or in the digital world, everything above 0 dB doesn't exist and is therefore being cut away. And the more is being cut, the more distorted the music is going to sound. So now, as you can see, peak is flashing away like crazy. So there's a lot of clipping happening right now. And you probably think, okay, all you have to do is just adjust the volume, the recording volume. So if I would hit record and select a pattern or a pad that I want to record to, that's when I can change the volume. So the highest is 127. And as you can tell, around 120 it is already gone. But the problem is, even if I lower it to 10 or 50 or something like that, even if the peak LED doesn't turn on, the clipping is still happening. And that's probably because this volume control changes the volume after the audio is already been digitized, which means after the damage is already done and after the clipping has already occurred. So I can show it to you right now what I'm talking about. So first, let us record the audio on the highest volume with the peak LED flashing away like crazy. So let's just start recording. Just a couple of seconds. We don't need that much. That should already be enough. And I'm going to export this recording right now to the compact flash. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to record it again, number 5, but this time I'm going to turn the volume down to 50, 51, like that. And you can see no peak LED, so let's record that. So it's probably the same song that is still playing right now. And that's it. So now I'm going to export this as well. And I'm going to input both of them into Audacity so that you can see what they look like. And then I'm also going to import the same song, but this time recorded with Audacity itself instead of the SP-404, so that you can see what the audio is supposed to look like. So here we are in Audacity, and as you can tell, this one right here is B4, so that's the one that I recorded at the highest volume with the peak happily flashing away. And as you can tell, yeah, it goes above 0 dB quite often. And also when we look up here at the VU meter when I'm playing this audio, you can see that it goes all the way to the front, but it can't go above because, yeah, clipping. So now let's look at this one. This is B5. So this is the same song, but this time with the record volume or with the recording volume turned down to 50 and no peak was flashing. But as you can tell, it still looks totally flat on the top and on the bottom. It looks totally cut away. And this means there is still clipping. And when I play this audio, you can see on the VU meter that it still looks as if it's hitting a wall. See, right there, like a wall. And that's not the way how it's supposed to be. And you can also see the clipping even more if I make it smaller. There you can see how totally flat it is. At least here we have a silent part, but here you can see there are almost no hills and valleys whatsoever. And down here, this is the same song recorded, but this time I connected the cassette deck directly to my computer and I was recording it with Audacity, and there you can see that we have nice hills and valleys. And when I play this song and we look at the VU meter, you can see it doesn't look so much like a brick wall. So this shows you, or this is showing you, how dumb the SP-404 is when it comes to recording from an external analog source. It's basically the same problem that we have with linear PCM recorders, that most of them aren't really capable of handling the volume input when you want to digitize cassettes or records or something like this. And that's why you shouldn't use those devices to do that, because apparently you can't really change the input volume before the audio is being digitized, and therefore you're changing the volume after it's being digitized and after the clipping has already occurred. So yeah, that's just something that I wanted to show you, that even though the peak LED doesn't light up, peak is still happening and there is still clipping and distortion and whatnot. So yeah, I hope that was informative, and yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next random video. Bye.